Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a deep dive on Evrloot, run through the gameplay for both free-to-play players and holders, and lastly, take a look at their roadmap to see what's coming in 2025. So what is Evrloot? It is a browser-based MMO that plays like a combination of Darkest Dungeon, World of Warcraft, and classic idle browser games. The project started in 2022 with the mint of their first Souls collection. These NFTs use remark technology, which means they can be combined with other equipment and weapon NFTs. This design was intentional right from the start, allowing the team to expand the game world without having to compromise on the original NFTs. With expansions and add-ons to the game, they simply need to design new equipment and weapons, and the souls will be able to equip them to use in the game without changing any of the core metadata or having to refresh or update the NFTs. Now I really like this because it shows the team has planned ahead and there's room for limitless expansion from a technological standpoint. Now let's run through what you can do as a free-to-play player. First, let's take a look at Expeditions. This is the active part of the game and it plays like a roguelike dungeon crawler similar to Darkest Dungeons. You control a Warborn or a team of Warborns and attempt to get as far as possible in the Sand Tower. Along the way, you will encounter enemies such as skeletons which you will need to beat in order to proceed. Combat takes the form of a turn-based auto-battler. Winning will yield loot such as glitz, which is the in-game currency, and experience points which goes towards leveling your Warborns. Be careful though, because moving around the different rooms and battles will cost hit points. Lose all your hit points and your run comes to an end and your Warborn will lose a heart. Every Warborn has 3 hearts, and losing them all means your Warborn is permanently dead and you will need to recruit a new Warborn and start over. So how do you win a dungeon run? There are 2 ways to do so. You can either defeat the dungeon boss or look for the NPC that will allow you to escape from the dungeon. Only through a successful dungeon run will you be able to get any loot that you have collected. So you as the player will need to balance the risks and rewards. Decisions are important here on whether to risk it on another room when you're low on health, or run back to escape the dungeon and secure your rewards. Once you have accumulated some glitz, be sure to head over to the armory in the Warborn camp to purchase armor and weapon packs. These packs provide equipment for your Warborn which will strengthen them and make your dungeon runs so much easier. There are different grades for armor and weapons, with the highest being legendary items. Next, we'll take a look at missions. This is the idle part of the game and plays like classic idle browser games. For free-to-play players, you have 4 options with different cooldown timers. You can decide between a 45-minute, a 2-hour, a 6-hour, or a 12-hour mission. Longer missions yield greater rewards. All you need to do is to click on your chosen mission and send your Warborn on the mission to start the countdown timer. Come back again once the timer ends to collect your rewards. So both expeditions and missions are the core gameplay options for free-to-play players. The idea is to give you a taste of what the game is like. If it's something that you enjoy, you can purchase a paid NFT character, which will then open the game entirely for you. So as a holder, your gameplay options have tremendously expanded. Expeditions are pretty much the same, except drops will become much more rare, and it will be items and crafting recipes instead, so I won't go through it again. The city of Trakan is now open to you and you can start on crafting and professions. Take some time to explore the various points of interest in the city. There's a lot of characters to chat about with the lore of the game world you are in. Do take note though that you will now need to pay for your own gas fees for transactions within the game. There's an easy option for you to top up your credits with your credit cards for this, if you don't want the hassle of having to set up your own wallet. Missions have now changed to provide resources that are needed for crafting. You can choose between fishing, water collecting, lumbering, or harvesting for your missions. As you do missions, you will gain experience within that specific mission category, which will unlock longer missions that gets you more resources per run. My personal recommendation when starting out is to go for water collecting missions first. Water is needed for many other missions in the game, so it's a resource that you will always need. Now for crafting, you can head over to the Sand Harbor for this. Clicking on the fireplace or the workbench will bring up your crafting options. There are lots of crafting options for you to choose from health potions, fishing baits, armor, and weapons. Now similar to missions, crafting items gives you experience which levels your crafting skills and unlocks more options for you. So what is coming up next for Evrloot? At the time of this recording, Phase 1 of the Warborn Campaign is already coming to an end, which means marks will take a backseat to the other features being released. Coming first quarter of 2025, we'll see the release of a new combat system, where you will be able to control a party of 3 characters instead of just a single character currently. Now this is a major update that will add a lot of strategic depth to the game. You will need to decide on party composition and build your characters to specialize in certain areas such as tanking, attacking, or support. The very first PvP feature will also be released during this quarter, although there are not much details released yet, so we'll need to wait and see what changes that would bring. And then in the second quarter, the Marks Generation event will take place, which will reward everyone that played during Phase 1 of the Warborn Campaign. There will also be an expansion of the PvP feature to include World PvP. Again, more details will be released closer to date once things are more concrete. And looking further into the third quarter and beyond, the team will continue building up the game world to include other cities, expeditions, and missions. You can already see from the in-game map currently how large the game world actually is. Personally, I can't wait for the combat update and the expansion of the game world. I love reading and immersing myself in the game world and the stories of different characters and locations. If you're looking to get started, now is a great time. Just click on the links at the bottom and jump right into the game. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.